from what was in the original document. I'm sure you can see it all in there. I don't know if you have any questions for it, instead of me going down each item that we took out. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a considerable amount of money.
Well, it looked to me like you didn't have to cut very much. I mean, for what the appropriations, the expenditures actually ended up being to where they started at.
I don't see a lot of slashing in here, which is
Well, we
fine.
took out, just for instance, one police car took $70K out, $35,000 for the fire vehicle exhaust, $6,000 on turnout gear we took out of that. Road maintenance, $10,000, $50,000 of brickwork on the Opera House, $60,000 on, initially $60,000 on DPW truck, $32,000 on the meter upgrades, $90K from $180,000 in actuators, $15,000 in security systems, $30,000 in clear well rehab, $63,000 with the not buying a permanent generator and getting the paving done. And then some of it was taken, a $10K here, $10K there in the general fund under like contingency specials, contractual stuff.
Like,
So,
yeah, I guess I was more referring to the department heads' request, not capital projects, but their requests. I don't see that there was.
They didn't ask for an astronomical amount.
no.
Yeah, so I
But they
guess,
were all pretty tight.
I guess my question is, so even if it's, their proposed budget, and even if you took out 2%, I'm gonna throw that number out there. Did they have input into what was changed? Like if maybe you took it out of one line, they would rather, if you're gonna reduce it, reduce a different line.
We didn't, that's up to you.
Okay, no, but I mean.
No, they did not.
They did not,
No.
okay. But, okay, and I asked our list to make sure that all the department heads had a copy of this before they came in to see us, so they'll know what changes were made from when they submitted their budgets.
Almost
So-
everything I'm talking about were
Yeah.
capital projects, and that was in there.
Yeah,
Ooh, sorry. No, we worked based off of what they had brought to us and their reasonings for what they were asking for, and if it was something that they didn't normally have, like obviously we know some of the guys are going to training for fire, so you're not touching that because
Right.
that's exactly what he needs, and then there were just other things that the possibility is there to cut, like maybe we don't necessarily need this year.
across the board, what increase was there from last year to this year in utilities? I know you said they've gone up significantly, but what percentage? I mean, if I would know that math, I probably could have done the math, but.
I would say probably 30 to 40%
Really?
increase.
Wow.
Well, even just looking at our bills, our most recent bills, the sewer bill went from like $10,000 to almost $30,000 last month, which is insane.
Wow.
And they're using less power than they ever have. Like their usage is way down.
Is that for power? For the sewer plant? Yeah, they've gone, about a year ago, it started escalating.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, but this last month was way worse than it has been.
It's
How about-
because all our home utilities went up.
Well, yeah, it's no surprise.
Everybody's
How
complaining
about
about
our natural gas?
That hasn't, I mean, it varies in the winter anyways, but it
Yeah.
hasn't jumped like the electric did.
Right.
Are those buildings heated by electric or natural gas? Natural gas.
You mean the plants themselves?
Yeah.
I think DPW is gas, natural gas.
Well, streets department is gas.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Water treatment plant
How about the
is
fire
gas. Oh, it's gas because they have the hot water radiator system that has broken down quite a bit. And the wastewater plant, pretty sure it's gas.
I'm pretty sure it's gas also.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the fire department. But
they use a lot of electric to run pumps and things, so.
Well, I remember David at the wastewater plant, almost a year ago, when the bill started escalating, he was gonna maybe work with you to discuss with the grid, like what's going on, why are these bills going up? And I don't think, I believe they're actually using less power.
They are using less, yes,
And
a
yet the
significant
bills have
amount
gone
less.
way up.
Yes.
Thank
The
you.
cost has gone up, they're using
Thank you,
less,
New
but
York
it costs
State.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you are trying to economize, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting, you're going deeper.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Christina.
so the current
Leanna.
actual is 6,033,986, and our proposed budget is 8,324,850. Is that?
Yes.
So,
So for what I ran for the projected numbers at the end of the year, at the end of this fiscal year, the total expenses came in, or look like they may be coming in at 9.4 million.
for the end of this fiscal budget?
Yeah,
It's revenue, expenses, expenses, revenue.
expenses.
So are we going to be in the negative to start this next year's budget?
So the fund is showing for a negative 330,000.
We can sign the contract and have them log. That'll be 140,000. Just saying.
I thought that contract was already signed.
The-
No?
No, they signed a contract in a previous administration.
Yeah. Right, and never
Paid for the
did anything.
contract.
And never did anything.
anything.
I never did.
Yeah. And so when he went out, he asked me, why are all those trees marked already? I said, well, a couple of years ago, Forcon was going to do it, but then the Board of Trustees, or the trustees, didn't approve actually getting the work done, although they paid him some money.
So-
They decided not to get the work done.
How are we going to make up the negative for next year's budget?
We really have to watch our spending to make sure that we don't get to that 9.4 million. Because obviously that's projected based on what they've spent throughout the year. It's not
Right.
actual figures right now, but we only have March, April, May.
Right.
Yeah.
We only have 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to stop paying payroll, and we're not going to stop buying gasoline, and we're not going to,
Right.
It's one of the things that were talked about today. I mean, your prices of virtually everything is going up, but right now, which is bad for us. You're into the final quarter, and all your
And-
gasoline, all your utilities, everything is skyrocketing.
so if you could put on your projection glasses and your magic wand, and just the way that it's going so far, what does it look like to you? Like, are we going to, just because we know what we've spent from month to month to month to month, right? Do you think we're going to get there or not?
So I think it's a possibility, the way our revenue has been going, if like the building inspector and the fire keep bringing in the amount of revenues that they have, I think we'll be okay. But I have been watching everything that they're spending, and if it's something, can we push this off, can we wait, then I'm asking them to wait.
Not only that, but a lot of things are going up right now.
Right.
As I said, the fire revenues, the projections have been coming in pretty strong. Code enforcement, they're coming into their season, so that's going to be good. And then even police, I noticed Greg's first report, ticketing and fines were up considerably over the last couple of months, so.
Well, I spoke with Josh, and he told me that the overtime is going to get squashed.
Yeah.
Maybe next month we'll start to see that. So the overtime should go way down for the fire department
And
next
same with
month.
police to a certain extent, yeah.
Just because we hired that guy, the new guy, the 13th fireman. So if we can cut, I don't know, let's just say $50,000 out of overtime out of the fire department.
That would be huge, yes.
Right. So hopefully that's impactful in this budget.
I'm thinking also on the expense side, or Alyssa, if you could help me out, but we've had some dramatic expenses for repairs, correct?
Yeah, it's
So-
mostly in the water and sewer.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
for example, wastewater plant, we just approved So it would be what, 131,000, I believe?
Yes.
For grid pumps? That's a big chunk of change.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, at the same time, it's a critical need. So we're forced into some of these mission-critical type repairs that we have to do, but it's really taking big chunks out of our budget.
Well, we're definitely spending down the fund balance.
Yeah.
Because that's all coming out of the fund balance. So, I didn't really have any problems at all with the general fund. It was the water and sewer fund that
Yeah, those are way
kind of
over.
concern me next year.
Right, but
Yeah.
those are the plants that have the moving parts and
Yeah,
have
because-
mechanical,
And that's where we've been having to spend some money to fix.
Yeah.
Well, which is why we also
Outdated
took
equipment.
out some of the capital projects out of the water
Yeah.
department, which I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. I mean, we took out the clear water, or the clear well rehab, and figuring that we're probably only going to be using this for another couple of years, but is it going to hold for 2 more years? You know, and then, so that's.
I
the
think
bottom
that
line.
would be a question for the engineers.
Yeah.
Do you think we need, for the next 3 years, do we need to do anything to make sure that we can get through that timeframe?
can you just elaborate a little bit? You talk about the clarifiers, clear wells, I don't
Clear
know.
well rehab, they had, what was the total in that? We took 30,000 out of it. I think that was the whole project, wasn't it?
We took the whole project out.
We took the whole project for $30,000 rehabbing the clear wells. One clear well,
And what was the total of that project?
30 grand. So
30
we took the
grand?
whole grant project out.
Do you know what they needed to do to it?
I think it was cleaning and just, you'll have to ask Louis
Okay.
the details, but I think if I'm correct, one of those had a crack in the base, so it was emptying, doing some nice stuff, patching that crack, but the crack is not, at this point, if I was correct with the right project, the crack wasn't affecting the operation or it wasn't creating any leakage, so,
Because we don't want to send divers back in there. We know what happened last time.
well, look what happened, yeah.
Why, that's always fun.
Well, that's when, yeah, boil water order, yeah.
As much as I don't want to talk about it, do you think we're going to have to talk about a water rate increase?
So I kind of been watching it because we just implemented those other rates after all of the budget hearing and waiting until everybody had been billed so that the rates could go into effect. And those are showing a significant difference, but I think if we continue doing all of this work, we're obviously, because this projects, our next year's budget projects that we're only gonna have $25,000 left in the fund balance for water.
So
We can't do that.
What about the sewer? We've been doing some significant things to the sewer treatment plant too.
So that's still a healthy fund balance at the end of next year projected. I mean, if it continues, then yes. But we just raised those also, and those have made a big difference as well.
It was the chlorination project that destroyed the water fund balance.
And so we're talking, was it about 400 K?
Almost 500,000.
500. But then so how does that work with the loan though, the New York State loan?
So we have to pay that back within 1 year, so it's due at the end of October, mid-October?
This coming October.
Yeah,
Did we talk about rolling that into the
right,
other
yes.
project though?
Yep.
So we don't have to pay it back?
Hopefully, we don't have to pay it back.
Yeah.
That's the plan with EFC, that's what we've been discussing with EFC.
And that amount was for the 500?
Yeah, if we could avoid paying that back next year, that would be
That would be great.
nice.
Yes.
I mean, you have to pay it back eventually.
Right.
But-
just
Well,
in
we're still gonna
smaller-
have to pay it back.
Yeah,
just
but to
not-
to pay it back over 30 years is gonna be a lot more palatable than
Well, of
over
course,
1 year.
right.
With no interest, where there's no interest on it, so we're not gonna incur any more expenses.
And then we're also talking about rolling in the
Yeah, paving,
Infrastructure
paving
paving.
and the water main. Are we
Central
still
Avenue.
considering doing that whole water main?
Yeah,
Yes.
So the focus on that will be Central Ave, full
Yeah.
length, and then Temple, partial length. This man could probably elaborate more on that, but
well, EFC hasn't definitively said that we could do that,
That's true, yes.
but it seems like that's where they're leaning, because,
This is the direction we're,
So we're still
Attempting
kind of
to
waiting to
establish.
hear from them.
yeah, and I know they had requested some more information from Alyssa, financial information that she was able to forward to them so they can make a final decision. And, I think the fact that she gave them everything they need and they didn't ask for anything else, I think that's a pretty good sign. So I'm hopeful that they're going to allow that to happen.
yeah, so the objective is to try and leverage the water main replacement project to have that embraced in the total water source funding project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And, minimize the impact directly on us.
right. I mean, it's funded through EFC anyway, so the only thing that they have to do is say, yeah, you
Right.
can pay that back over 30
Yeah, because
years.
at one point, we had discussed whether it would be two separate projects.
Right.
Or one.
And two separate projects would mean another seeker. That would cost us, we'd have to pay for seeker.
Yeah.
And they may have to do it anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. I
They
thought
may have to
they
do it
may.
anyway.
Yeah.
But because the original engineer's report included infrastructure, that doesn't need to be, it may need to be amended but not revised, which would save us a ton of money.
Depending on when the governor's budget is passed, one of that is significant seeker law change. So
I forgot you're the new seeker king.
I'm the new, was there today. Ben
So
watched
I'm
the media
confused. A seeker
For the water main
for
project.
the water main project, because what they're trying to eliminate is that seeker was done on any part of that land prior to
Yeah.
projects, and nothing significant, like any type of leakages or building of it, that they would eliminate the need
Yeah.
for a seeker.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying, I don't
You're just in
understand
a
why we
road.
would need one.
Yeah, you're just in a roadway, you're not gonna be
We wouldn't need we're just
Right.
replacing pipe.
that makes sense,
Yeah.
but that's not
Yeah,
the way the state
exactly.
looks at everything all the time.
But see, then if there's, what they do is on the second one, so say you bought land for a house today, and the developer, like St. George owns LaBella up there. LaBella had to get seeker for that when he bought the property for development and started putting the infrastructure in there. What they're saying is, it came up clean when he bought it. Nothing else has been added to that community at this point. There's no industry or anything wasn't found. To have to go back and do it again because now another project is being launched on that property was redundant, so they want to remove that. So because it's adding about $30,000 to the cost of building a house. So they're trying to generate new housing builds, and figure that's one way of doing it.
Anyway, let's just hope we don't have another water main issue like that.
It's got to happen somewhere.
I'm just afraid that if we're not
Dave and Jen said it's not going to happen.
projecting forward with that possibility,
Well, keep in mind that it's going to be about 2 years before we even get to dig. So
I know.
you're going to have that happen. So that's why we were actually looking for emergency funding for this end of it, because emergency funding had turned around a little bit quicker. Because otherwise, if we have to wait for it to be a part of the overall project, there's a lot that can go wrong in the next 2 years underground.
Yes.
they're dying of heat over there.
I'm like, can you crack the window?
Oh, I thought you wanted it closed.
Exact opposite.
So I've heard that, we didn't want to do anything with Central because we're going to have to dig that up. But we're not going to be able to leave that like that
We
for
can't
2
leave it like
years.
that. There's no way we can leave it like that. But that was the idea of pushing it, correct me if I'm wrong, through emergency funding, so that you could do it both at the same time.
To accelerate it,
Thank you.
Right now, Central Avenue
I
is
can do for you.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I am looking at paving from Newton Street down to, we can pave from Newton Street down to Temple and do that intersection. It hasn't been done in a lengthy period of time, so that is one of the things that we're talking about, just actually paving that section, which would include those two breaks.
If we can get that one side, because everybody's trying to cut over
I know.
before they get there, and
There's gonna be an accident there.
somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah, we're talking about doing that whole intersection from Central up to Newton.
So before we get off this subject, so, I forgot my question. So you've gone through and done what your cuts, and those are mostly
Yes.
out of the capital projects?
Yes.
Yeah, because we thought that everybody came in fairly reasonable with their asks.
Good, because I
And,
would,
you know,
I would want, the departments to tell us what they can't live without, right?
There you go.
Instead of us
There
telling
you go.
them what they can live
Exactly.
without, okay?
Which is, and I like the way that Erlissa sets us up so we can see exactly on each line how much they cut, if they cut anything,
yeah.
Yeah.
from what was requested to what actually made the budget. So you had a chance to look at this, right?
Yeah, she actually it's broken down.
Okay, so
Sure, break
you
it
know
down for
the
them.
areas that your budget,
That might cut down.
They did a
that
nice
your
job.
budget would
Oh, thanks, next time include me, will you?
Sorry. So, one thing, I don't know if you want me to leave.
Yeah, we can't start till 4, right, because it's a public meeting?
We're already started, we started at
3:30.
Start at 3:30. But was there anything else before we go specifically in DPW?
What do you mean in financial before we go to DPW?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, the water just concerns me, like we have to have some sort of backup plan for the water, that's all. It worries me that we're gonna end up spending another 50,000, 60,000
Do you want
for-
me to run some projections on increasing water rates?
I don't really want to do that.
I don't either, but.
Are you talking about the plant itself?
No, I'm talking about like repairs, like.
For water main repairs?
Yeah, and that is encompass of a lot of
Exactly.
things, right?
yeah.
Well, again, I mean, he's pulling pipes out from 1863. And
Exactly.
that's how bad this is.
83.
Okay, sorry.
You know.
We weren't incorporated.
But there were probably some under there.
Like
sewage
at the
pipe might be
sewage treat,
1863.
the sewage or water, and
You know,
how far are we looking into the future to make sure that
Yeah.
we're, one St. George 3-day thing can bankrupt us.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I'm not, I'm serious.
I know.
You're absolutely correct.
Definitely already.
So that's my concern is like, how do we balance it out so that we make sure that we still have some
well,
backup instead of having to borrow?
we're open to listening. Any ideas?
Oh, I wish I had a
The one
magic.
thing that I do want to talk about, because I went to the governor's press conference today, and I had the chance to, they put me on stage, so I had a chance to talk to her before anybody else got to her. And I said, we're partway there with the water. And she said, how much do you think you're going to need? I said, I don't think there's enough money in your entire budget for what we're going to need. But she said, I said, we're at 17.5 collectively. And I said, but we were asking other people for 5 here, 6 there. She said, whatever you're going to need, you will have. From her lips to my ears, number
You
one.
should have given her your pen. She probably had a checkbook.
No, she just said, she said we have 5 years worth of water plan in this budget. She said there's money to be able to do that. The only other thing I want to talk about before we go off, because I have a tendency to forget. As you know, we've been talking at the county level about consolidation. The consolidation of services I think is going to work for us would maybe be Fredonia and Dunkirk Police. But right now, the hot word with PJ and others is sheriff's taking over the policing of the entire county. And he's having a tough time closing the deal with potential candidates downstairs because they're afraid that they're going to lose their job in 2
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah.
I'm just asking that
Oh,
you
yeah.
not talk about that, and that we're not seriously considering that part of it.
They can't find enough sheriffs to cover what they need to cover now.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
They would have to.
Yeah, you'd have to
fast-lane
hire
instruction.
100 more sheriffs.
No, but
Not
they're
100,
afraid that
but-
if we talk consolidation, that they're gonna lose their job from
Yeah.
us.
Right.
Right, and they don't,
Yeah.
if they wanted to go work for the sheriff's department, that's where they'd be applying, right?
Right, yeah.
Because they have the pick, right? We're lucky to get good candidates.
Well, the problem is,
Fortunately, we are, yeah.
if you go with a countywide consolidation using the sheriffs, there is no police department. There is no choice, so everybody goes to the sheriffs to work there. So he was very kind, and I talked to the Dunkirk police as well. they're trying to get PJ and everybody else to lay off of that particular thing with regards to consolidation. So,
Dave, one thing I would like to start with, and it's nothing to do with the budget, and kind of follows what Leanne had to say. It would be nice if, set up like a 10-year plan to replace the worst of the worst. You know, just do however much we could afford to do every year.
For the piping and.
Yeah. You know, because between you and Scott, I'm sure you know where, and Casey and Jen, where the worst problems are.
Yeah, I mean, the worst lines are gonna be the oldest lines. They're gonna be down.
Yeah.
Down Water Street, up Temple, up Central are gonna be the worst lines.
Well, Water Street, that's in the part of the project.
Yes, it is.
That LaBelle is doing, so, yeah, so a lot of
But
those.
Water Street originally was 2 lines. And back, from what Doug is telling me, when they did the bridge, and I think that's somewhere around 15 years ago, I don't know exactly, they took those 2 lines and got rid of one of them. So we went from 24 inches coming down to 2 lines going to 12, to 1 line going to 12, which increased the pressure. And now it's hitting that pipe on the other side of the bridge, which is old pipe, at about 120, 130 pounds of pressure. And I don't know why, nobody knows why they reduced it from 2 lines to 1 line, or 124 with going to 2 lines to 124 going to 112-inch line.
especially with the water pressure.
Yeah.
Has that pressure created any breaks, as far as you know?
Oh, it's 120 pounds. Anytime anything funky happens at the plant, it
What
causes a
is
slam and something breaks.
what's a pressure-reducing valve going to cost? Any idea?
For the whole village?
No, just for that spot, just where the pressure needs to be reduced. You can put them wherever you want them.
I mean, I have,
In my time there, I don't ever remember us doing that.
I don't know. Even if, like, say we had a shutoff valve there and tried to shut that valve 90%, you still have full pressure going through that 10% if you're cutting it down. So I would honestly have to talk to a hydro engineer about how you would even do it. In your house you can get a pressure reducing valve, but you're talking a 1/2-inch line. On a 24 going to a 12, you know, you're already doubling that pressure basically going through it, and then you're going to try to reduce it or slow it down.
How much of the line is still 24?
Oh, to the bridge.
So replacing that to a 12 would.
That's in LaBella's proposal is
Yeah, they're gonna put-
installing
they're gonna put-
press-
The 12-inch line down water.
Yeah.
and they're going to
Wouldn't it
put,
make sense to replace the 12 with the 24 to match the 24?
Or go back to 2 lines or go back to whatever to. But if we go to Dunkirk, the North County Water District, their water pressure is only about 80 pounds of pressure.
We lose water pressure here. Yeah.
Well, but we're not really losing water pressure because we should only be at 80 or 90 pounds of pressure.
That's nominal.
And that's really where we should be.
What does that
We
do
shouldn't
when
be
you
at
turn your faucet
120,
on?
130 pounds of pressure.
Well, there's something called water. I spoke with Doug extensively this afternoon, and, you know, we were talking about the water mains, and,
My Doug or?
yeah, you're
Okay.
Doug, and the water hammer, right? So
Yeah.
that's what's killing us.
Yeah.
Is the water hammer, that impulse of water. And it's like I asked him, is it rust? Well, it may be in some circumstances, especially if you got hot soil around it.
Yeah.
But it's primarily the water hammer. Now, he did tell me that at the control house for the water tank on Webster Road, those pumps were recently retrofitted. So, and what they do is when they start and when they stop, they have a slow ramp up.
They're supposed to have a slow ramp
Yeah.
up, but I don't know how often those things, somebody comes in and calibrates those and checks that.
So
Yeah.
I don't
That's part
know.
of that
Do it
Cummins thing, they're coming
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the schedule.
that's, you know,
Cummins or Siemens? Because we have a contract with both.
somebody's
I
coming.
think
to
it's
look. Somebody's coming. to look.
Cummins that
But
does that, I think, right?
Yeah, that's-
Saying that right.
Cummins does the backup generator, right?
They come and they make sure everything is on point there and at the
Okay.
Vineyard Drive pump station.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I hate to break that conversation.
No,
My
yeah.
conversation was more about how we really need to start thinking about reserve funds for water, sewer, how we're, because even if it's going to be 3 years before we get this project done, we have something catastrophic, a catastrophe happen at the water sewage treatment plant, or the lines blow up in the village, we need to start preparing to have some money.
Yeah, the only way to do that is to raise rates.
Well, and I don't want to do that. I'm just saying we need to start thinking
yeah.
about how are we going to control that
For
as
sure,
much
I
as we
mean-
can control it.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a little taken aback by reading for the proposed budget, the water and sewer fund, where the projection is we'll end up next year. And that's assuming no catastrophic events.
That's all. And I know that money is very tight and we don't have extra money to start doing that, but we really need to start thinking about how we move forward before the water project is completed, right? And even after the water project's completed, we still have lines that are from the 1800s, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're still going to need funds for both of them.
We're still going to need reserve funds to
Well,
take care of
We
that.
have that policy where we're supposed to be 15 to 25% of our expenses are supposed to be in reserve funds. And at the end of next year, our general fund and our water fund, according to what we have right now, will not be in that 15 to 25%.
That was my point. Thank you very much.
How far off will they be?
The water fund will be about 320,000 and the general fund will be 1.2 million.
What our listener and I are also talking about this afternoon is our, what was the 11% I talked to you about today?
Oh, the equalization
Our
rate.
equalization
Yeah.
rate is incredibly low for a community like this. North Tonawanda is 40%. We're at 11%, which means we get less money in our taxes. We get less money on these bids that we're going after because of that. I mean, it's wonderful. It doesn't help us at all.
We need an assessment done of the entire village.
That's up to the town.
That's
That's
the town,
not up to the
though.
village.
Yeah.
The village can ask for it.
That doesn't
I
mean
think
the
we
town's going
already
to do it.
have.
It's,
So
you and I have had the conversation with Dan, and he said that's on his radar.
Yeah,
Whatever
because
that means.
he's doing each card individually. Anyhow, I'm getting
That's
off
kinda
topic.
funny.
The one thing that I had asked, I didn't get it from DPW because they were going through the change with Scott and everything. All the other departments has given us a 5-year plan. I'll give you the copies of it so that you have it.
Thank you.
As far as where they're going to be in the next 5 years.
Yeah, we did. We
You did?
one with you,
Okay.
yeah.
One thing that I would suggest is similar to what John is saying. I know it's very difficult to do because things blow up when they blow up. And I'm just using it as an example. But in that plan, even breaking out the village as a quadrant or however you want to build it out, to say this year we plan on getting that done, that done, that done, that one, instead of looking at it from year to year, which I also, nobody expected what happened at Temple and Central to happen. That screws up the entire plan. But so that, again, I think that helps you plan a little bit on how much money you want to spend in each area,
But-
year by year.
So
I mean, we
is there
may
some
wanna
grant
spend
funding
whatever,
available
but-
for the infrastructure, just the
Oh, I know.
infrastructure part?
Yes, we have to have.
We have equipment right now that we can't get inspected and can't, because we can't buy
Engineering
parts for
study
it.
done.
Yeah.
So how do you say, I'm gonna budget 100,000 or
But
200,000
there
to
is
do
money
lines on from here to here?
Because we should be applying for that so that we can, there's grant money available to do that.
We do need the engineering portion done,
Yeah.
which is
So-
what we should be doing.
So, I mean, I think we really need to start talking about that, about getting an engineering study done so that we can apply for grants to fix the infrastructure so it's not killing our general budget.
I agree 100%, and I think
Or a water budget.
if we're going to do that, then I would like to use a different engineer.
Yeah.
Which part of the
Square
infrastructure?
engineering.
I'm talking about water mains,
So distribution system.
distribution
yeah.
system.
So we've met with Square Engineering, right? No, I don't believe we're going in that direction.
No, because we don't want him to do a engineer's report, which we would have to
Pay,
pay him to do it, and we would need one if he was going to be the lead engineer on that project. Even if it's all rolled up together, it's a different engineer.
so the course of action it looks like we're taking now is to embrace Labella
Yeah.
to do that report.
What he told us was they wouldn't need to do a new report, they would just have to add an addendum.
An addendum,
Yeah,
okay.
to what they would
So,
have
but
done.
can we break that into
Yeah,
a
like
different
no
project,
cost.
though? I mean,
We can, yes.
Yeah, 'cause that's what we need to do, is separate project with
Yes.
separate
Right,
funding
we do
with
that.
separate grants
Right.
for just
Because-
infrastructure.
Yeah, because what Paul was talking about was just Central Avenue, but the whole village.
No, I'm talking about like a 10-year
Yeah,
plan
yeah.
to keep applying for grants,
If we
keep
get
moving
that, if we
forward.
get that
Yes.
Central Avenue project with the 16 CertiValves and the hydrant being able to be flushed, the 10-year plan is going to change entirely, because that basically says now, in 90% of the stuff, we wouldn't need St. George to come in because we can isolate sections and do whatnot. So then your 10-year plan changes entirely, because now we're shutting off small sections to do repairs as opposed to areas we can't shut off at all right now.
That also doesn't result in boil water orders and those types of things either.
Yeah, I mean, once that Central Avenue, once that Central Avenue portion is taken care of and the valves are installed throughout the village that allow us to shut off the water, that changed. I mean, we go from 100% to 20% as far as what our damage level is going to be.
So, John, I would like to, like John and Paul, I'd like to be involved in like not the water project of going with North County Water District, but the distribution, changing those, and,
Right.
looking at a 10-year plan of, and applying for I'm telling you right now, USDA money, there's like $250 million in USDA money for infrastructure.
I think where we start is talk to the engineer.
I think, I just think that we should start
Yeah.
planning for that, so that we can avoid the catastrophes
Would
to.
Jennifer at LaBella
Bankrupt
be
our
a good
budget.
resource there to?
No, if we're going to do that project, let's not use LaBella, let's go with Square Engineering.
Square.
And
The
then-
problem,
yeah.
the thing we're addressing, that Leanne's addressing, is what I've been trying to drive home now. What the various administrations are handed is things that weren't done in previous administrations, and there was everybody was, well, we can't give anything to the next administration because that's their administration. We're supposed to be building a roadblock for them. We're supposed to be building a map so that whether I'm here or someone else is here, or you guys are here or someone else is here, they're picking the ball up and running with it. So some of us probably will not be here when it comes time to final decisions on water and that type of thing. So you have to have that plan. And there's been too long that everybody works, not everybody, I'm saying everybody, all administration, agenda to agenda, and there's no vision for where you're going to be, which is why we are where we are right now.
And I think that's what Leanne is trying
And
to
That's what
that's
Leanne's
part
trying
of,
to say.
the village's comprehensive 5-year, 10-year
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna go through the trouble to do that, we should figure out a way to start implementing that, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And
And thank you for
actually-
listening.
Yeah, and actually, we're supposed to refer to the comprehensive plan
On
whenever we
everything.
make any decision.
So, and there again goes the planning board, and,
Yeah.
let's,
Yeah.
so,
Well, the key to it is what you're saying is there's headings throughout that plan.
yeah.
What are we doing and maybe that's something we do at a workshop, is to take that plan and say, here's the top 10 topics in the comprehensive plan. What have we done or what are we doing to push that plan forward? Because it's supposed to be updated every 5 years, and it hasn't.
So, and the reason I bring it up now is because fiscally responsibility for our budgets from year to year should include a way to keep us out of bankrupting our budgets every year, right? Because some
Yes.
catastrophe happens like Central and Temple. So that's what I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, how do we avoid that? How do we move forward? Reading the comprehensive plan, it's right there in front of me, right? So let's see what we can do and what we can apply for grants and.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this recently, we're at a turning point. The Village of Fredonia is at a turning point. And the reason why we're at a turning point is because we're still digging up pipes from 1880 that have been in the ground. Great, they serviced the village a long time. We have a 100-year-old water treatment plant. It's great, it's serviced the village for a long time. We have a wastewater treatment plant that we're doing a major PER and major capital investment in, which hopefully will be captured by grants and allowances and support, subsidization. But we have what we have. This is what we got to deal with. I think there's just been a lack of planning in the past and a lack of relaying whatever the thinking and the priority was from one administration to the next. So here we sit. I mean, this is where we're at right now. Is it an easy place? It's a very difficult place because we have a lot of things on our plate that we have to consider. And in the meantime, we have water main breaks and maybe water boils. So we have a lot to think about.
Well, people get upset when you and I use the example of a car. When you buy a car, you don't drive it for 110,000 miles and never rotate the tires or put on new brakes or change the oil. And we've driven a lot of cars in this village without maintaining them. And now all of a sudden, it's falling on this group to say, what are you going to do about it? And there's only so much money. Maintaining as you go costs a heck of a lot less than this. We're dealing, you know, we're turning away other grants right now because we have two of the biggest expenditures in this village's history falling in our lap.
Let's get back
But
to
go
the
ahead.
budget.
Right, but I'd like to sit down and talk to you about like the sewer treatment plant and the grants that are available for that. And
Yeah.
It needs to be, because there's so much money out there, it's crazy.
We should be having a meeting in, early April is going to be in a couple of weeks. So I should have, the PR should be released at that point. And I think that would be the appropriate point to have that.
Okay, great.
So,
Circle back to the
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go
water
back.
fund deficit briefly.
Sure.
Last year, I thought we did not raise the water rate enough, and I could see another buck on that. I hate to do it, but at the same time, there might be something that we really want to consider to rebuild that balance in there, which we used for an important purpose. We used it to replace that chlorinator. And the chlorination system's been the root behind several of the recent boil orders. So we did good.
95%.
Exactly. You know, if it wasn't the frogman in the clear well, it was the boil, it was the chlorinator.
I hate to admit that I don't pay attention to the water bill because I don't pay it. But is there any kind of debt service charge on the water bill?
There's a $30 base fee.
Maybe we should talk about raising the $30 base fee instead of the rate.
yeah, because
You know-
here's, and I know this shouldn't come into play. I know it shouldn't. But if you read the paper today, Dunkirk's talking about raising their rates. So the visual is, oh yeah, Fredonia's going to raise their rates, so when they switch over to the North County Water District, their rates aren't going to be.
You pay $480 a month.
Well,
So
I see that, but-
that's just what the talking points are going to be. So I agree that
But
maybe we better.
I'm not talking per thousand or per 10,000 gallons.
Right.
I'm talking about a debt, you know, it's like a debt service fee to go towards maintenance. You know.
That's much
So-
more palatable.
We also guys are 15 minutes into the DPW discussion, and we're talking water.
All right.
Well, can I add something to that? New York State just basically doubled our electric bills and our gas bills on what they're calling a delivery charge, and it's basically to build infrastructure
Right.
to support the Green New Deal.
Right.
So my electric bill went from $220 to now $440 because the electric bill is doubled with the delivery charges. So if New York State is doubling their charges and they've, to build stuff, I don't know how we can't justify
And
a bill that's 3 months.
So each $5
To actually
brings
cover our
in
costs.
$64,000 a year, approximately.
because I think we could
There you go.
frame that around, you know, if we're gonna raise it from $30 to $40 a month, that money will be used to
That's-
fix the infrastructure.
That's only for infrastructure,
Yeah.
yeah. And
I
I think,
like
and it
that,
needs to
yeah.
be rolled out that way because
Yeah. It would be
I-
hard to argue with that.
I just know by going from what I'm used to in Casadega, we did a debt service charge specifically just to pay for the infrastructure,
Yeah.
right? So that's cheap, actually, because we were paying a lot more than that. But we had a $2.5 million water project to pay for.
Water
so-
and sewer is the cheapest utility that Fredonia has right now.
So I think we might need to think about raising that.
I'd be fine with that.
instead
I
of the
think that's
rate
actually a better
itself,
Yeah.
right?
idea than the rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could swallow that a
Well,
whole lot
then that's a
than-
better solid number anyway, because I know how many customers we have, and we don't know how many people are gonna use how many gallons specifically.
Right, but you know the rate that you're gonna get from each house.
Right.
from
So
that would be
each
constant.
estimated dwelling
Yes.
unit,
As
right?
opposed to a variable.
Correct.
Also, it doesn't look like the town of Pomfret switchover is going to happen in July.
No.
So
They've got ways.
they had to let us know 6 months in advance. So they picked July, but it may be another 6 months beyond that. So I talked to them today, and they said that they wouldn't look to separate from us until after their 3 weeks prior to connecting to make sure that all the bugs are out before they connected to the Berry Road project. So,
Are we
Then
looking
the outside
at,
customers need to pay $12. No, I'm just.
are we looking at raising it, the quarterly $30, both water and sewer, or just water?
No, just water.
I would say probably just water, because the sewer budget is where it should
We'll
be.
do water this year and sewer next year.
I think we should see how that works first.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what the infrastructure is gonna look like in the next year's budget,
We
right?
do, it's gonna be terrible.
No, it's not.
Anyway.
So I like that idea. Like, can you
Yeah.
run those?
oh, that's right.
I need the visual.
Sure. Do you want me to do 5, 10?
Do both?
Okay.
Do both, yeah.
Yeah.
See what.
Because I think that as a taxpayer, I could stomach that more than I could stomach you raising my per thousand or 10,000 gallon rate. And the sewer's already a hot enough topic. I don't really want to add anything to that.
Okay,
All right.
so when
Can I
you,
ask a question real quick?
no, I'm sorry, your time's up.
No.
Use your time.
No more
Alyssa,
questions.
I went through, I found, you know, it's hard going through that budget. 87 pages. Do you have anything on there for capital projects that were left over or that are on the plan for this year?
That were approved but did
That
not.
were approved that did not go through? Okay. Because when we initially had a conversation about capital projects, there was some talk, we're talking blowers, we're talking trucks, blah, blah, blah. So he came up with some idea about capital projects. I understand the budget has been submitted, blah, 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 but something to think about, I brought it with me.
Okay.
So I just wasn't sure if there was anything on there. But now, I'm sorry, I just had a quick off-topic
Nope.
Oh, go ahead.
question.
I'm still on topic.
It's on topic,
Yeah.
so.
Absolutely.
So I was just going to ask if, after looking through the changes that were made to the budget you submitted, if there's any areas of concern.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas of concern.
Let's hear it.
Street supplies, we had proposed 12. Mike had, or I guess I can say Mike has adjusted it down to 10. We probably could have spent 15. I would like to keep that 12.
So just so you know, street supplies, I mean, that's all of the signs, that's all the brooms, that's all, and we're really lacking in brooms and shovels, and, I mean, that covers all the office supplies, all of the cleaning supplies, I mean, it
Street
used
supplies.
to be like a $20,000 line.
We're down in some cases to 1 replacement sign on certain things. Signs are not cheap. The poles, the steel poles are not cheap.
And we're going to need to get more steel poles if we're going to switch over our parking,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all those.
Yeah, I mean, we probably replace, and I don't know what the deal is, but we probably replace 2 to 3 signs a week, just because they get hit by something, knocked over by something. I'm not saying, the pole gets damaged, and it's like 2 to 3 times a week that we're replacing or repairing a sign. It's unbelievable.
Do you have somewhere else you can,
I don't see.
would rather it come from?
Well, we do, as we go through the line,
Go ahead.
there is, I don't know, well, maybe, I don't know.
Well, let's just-
I'll let him talk on it, but we'll kind of maybe go over what our concerns are and then maybe try to figure it out from there.
I need help, please, teacher. Everybody's looking too.
Let me ask you, Dave,
We're on page
the majority of these signs that need
3,
replacement, Is it somebody, is it through like accidents where maybe the police had responded, we can catch, we can charge the people who
Do you
take
want
them
me to
down?
make you a copy of what I have? That's on the fire department.
We come in the next day and the sign is laying on the ground.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you do me a favor, if you knew that something like that does come up,
Yeah. No, if we had a physical, somebody hit it,
yeah.
you know, like maybe last year somebody took a hydrant out
Right.
and drove off. and
But my point is if it, unless it was like a medical accident, but somebody was drunk or something like that, I think we would start charging people for those hydrants and
Well, we're
those signs that
supposed
they
to be,
take down.
Yeah, we
we're
would-
supposed to let me know.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a report of somebody, you know, the police catching somebody hitting one of those signs, absolutely. I mean,
So,
yes.
what else you got?
Can you give me a copy of that tomorrow?
You're gonna have to share
Jen.
with me now because I gave Wendy a copy.
Jen, can you give me a copy of that tomorrow?
Okay.
We're gonna
Will you
see it.
email me a copy?
Well, this is the, I'm sure I don't have.
So,
Sorry, I can,
You want us to
don't worry
just
about it.
make a copy of this real quick?
Yeah, where could I go and get a copy?
What time is it? Sarah should be.
Copy boys and
She's still
Just run down and take that to Kara real quick.
All right. Can I'm doing my writing on it. I
got it.
No,
Yeah,
that's
if you
true.
make 7 copies for
I
that.
don't see this.
It's true. What Jen did was she broke it all out into the different area lines,
See,
and it's much easier to see
that's out of 15.
and discuss as opposed to looking through that than it is
3 out of
to.
6.
So
I don't,
she has all your lines included in that?
Yeah, what she did, and when it's going to come back
this is
up.
1 out of 6.
So this is 3 out of 6.
Street supplies, street training, whatever.
Right, it's
What we
got the-
proposed, what we've spent, and what the mayor went to, and then what I would like to put it back to.
Sequentially.
And it's based on where we are over, under for this last year's
2
thing.
Okay.
So.
All right.
out of 6 right here. This should be it. Nope.
No, you said out of
What Jen did was she
No,
put all the
mine says
lines
3 out of 6.
out of here into here.
And 4 out of 6.
And this is.
Oh, I thought it was
Sorry.
This is what.
I think I was talking about something else. Too many talking.
After if that number's good. It's based on
So, out of 2, okay.
the numbers of where we are
Right here.
based up to this point in this year so far.
Okay.
And actually,
3 out
that's
of
probably
6.
3 weeks
I'm
old.
3 out of 6.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
updated on
Okay, and then 4 out of 6.
well,
Thank
one
you.
of them-
You're welcome.
I got it now.
There you go.
Very good.
What Jen's going to give you is,
Said April.
she made a sheet that has all of the different lines broken down into it.
Okay.
What we proposed, what we'd spent up to about 3 weeks ago, what the mayor proposed giving us in the budget and where we think we should be. And basically, it's based on the number lines of where we are and what we spent up to this point. Now, this was up to a month ago, and obviously, there's still 2 months left in the budget, so we're going to be, some of these numbers are going to be higher than what they're at right now. But it'll give you we're going to give you just an itemized thing, so you don't have to look through that, per se.
Yeah.
It'll just make it easier.
Okay.
So as soon as she gets back, it'll make it.
So you would project then for next fiscal year based off of that information?
We're projecting off of what we spent already and what we expect the increase in cost will be. And actually, our budget didn't increase. A lot of it isn't big increases or from what it was last year, actually. It's-
And I know this is a little bit off topic, but the roof, you said you weren't sure how much was going to be covered, or?
We turned it to the insurance adjuster came out and looked at it, he said it should be totally replaced. I don't know what they, as far as coverage-wise, will, if they, being 15 years old, they'll say it's 80%, 90%, 50%, I don't know, that's a.
Roof blew off. Yeah. So there's a deductible, and then they may prorate it.
They may, I don't know I don't know how our insurance plan works here.
It's a deductible, that's it.
It's a deductible, that's it. So if they said, she said it's a deductible, that's it. So if it's a full roof repair, they would replace it.
You want to do mine? No, I need to fill.
I hate doing people's nails.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, so,
So we're listed where the spent column is, our list is, sorry, I ran upstairs. Our numbers aren't always exactly the same because I enter them as I'm writing POs, she's entering them, she's paying them, but we should be pretty close.
I see what you mean.
This one? Yes.
Street supplies.
All right. So,
I'm not 12K.
yeah, so that's the street supplies, that's the signs and stuff like that. It says we spent $8,756. By the end of the year, given another 2 months, we could be close to that 10,000, 11,000 that the mayor is projecting. But I anticipate, I don't believe we bought signs this year. I don't believe we went and bought individual street signs this year,
So is that,
which are going to have to be
is
some
the
replaced.
spent amount taken from the budget, so that's good through March 19th, is that?
That's good, well, that's good through,
Those are my numbers.
that's good through probably,
These are current?
no,
These
well,
are
probably,
my current numbers, this, what we
yeah,
spent.
but that's as of, what day did you,
I just updated it this morning, so.
okay, so, well, now you had this the other day, so if you've updated it, I don't have the latest one.
Okay, well, whenever we did it
Okay.
Well, we're
yesterday.
over.
Okay.
Sewer.
Yeah, okay, so it is as of a couple days ago, Monday, when we sat down and did this.
Also, some budget transfers occurred, so my spent numbers don't include the fact that there's budget transfers. So it's an actual what we spent, where Alyssa moved money around. So I wanted to show what we actually spent. Because like that big issue we had on Temple, obviously, we had to pull money from somewhere. I don't know where it came from because I wasn't paying attention. But if it was moved from that line, then that wouldn't be an accurate representation of what we actually spent.
So if we had 10,000 in there and we spent 8,756, but she took 2,000 out to put to something else, that's not reflecting in that
No,
number.
that's not what I
That
mean.
makes sense.
I mean, so to skip down, like sanitary sewer contractual, where it says
Yeah, it proposed.
he proposed 30,000. Well, can't remember what we were starting at this year, but we spent 52,000. I'm sure Alyssa moved money around to cover that
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah, we did.
So,
Yeah, because-
but I don't know from where, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to make things
Right.
calculated, so I just did what our
I know,
actual
like-
expenditures.
yeah.
Our actual expenditures.
Was
If that makes sense.
St. George expense?
Yeah, St. George
Yeah,
and,
because that was.
St. George and anybody else that's come in to help us.
We've had St. George, what, it's been 41,000 and there were a few of them that came in.
Yeah.
So the considerable
52,000.
sum of money.
Yeah, but a lot of
Okay, keep in
St.
mind-
George's bills came out of the water and sewer funds.
They did.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that when we first went through the splash of this, where we were taking things out of this budget, that 52,000 number wasn't in there at that time.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Alyssa, if I can ask you a question.
So how much did you propose we cut? Because I'm looking at their
Yeah.
budget. 10?
Well,
If the budget is what?
We proposed 12.
I'm looking at this.
We proposed 12, he took it to 10.
What kind of tax increase would
And
it
I'm proposing taking that
Nothing
back
was
to
cut.
12.
Oh, no, I meant total number.
okay.
I just want a frame of reference.
The mayor's adjusted is the last column going down.
I was just looking at the other sheet, so I thought maybe you totaled up what the
Oh, I'm
difference
sorry.
was.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I'm not suggesting we do that, I just want a number.
No, okay.
Do you want,
Hold on, I'm sorry. I asked her, Alyssa, if the budget was exactly what the department has requested and the mayor or Alyssa cut nothing, what kind of tax increase would that look like? Just as a frame of reference, so
That
we'll
would be
know.
nice to have.
If it went from 7 to 2 or something, just, yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry.
About
Go
8
ahead.
to 2.
What is it?
About 8% to 2.
8%. Ooh, I was
Do you-
close. Oh.
do you want?
After what we took out.
Do you want me to discuss, I mean, there's some lines like street training, she's proposing we're proposing 2,000, the mayor's 2,000, so, I mean, we're not looking for any change in that or anything, so
Just-
some of those numbers think off, so just the ones we're looking for
Just the
changing.
ones you want,
Okay,
right? There's-
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the circle numbers are the ones you're looking.
yeah, yeah. The street equipment maintenance,
So wait, hold up.
Nope, time out.
oh,
Just, no. You asked about that $2,000, Alyssa? The street contractual,
Yeah.
we proposed 25, he took 20. He put it to 20, oh, never mind, that doesn't solve that problem. Never mind, shut up, Jen. Go on, Dave.
okay. Street equipment maintenance, we proposed 30,000. We spent 17,538. Mayor adjusted it to 20. We have several pieces of equipment that need major new plow edges, stuff like that. I'm asking for 25, so I'll cut that with the mayor if possible.
So you would like 5,000 more?
I would like 5,000 more on that one. And that's, I mean, we have 20-year-old plows, 15-year-old plows. Some of them need new cutting edges, new rubber, new shoes. Price of steel's gone up. I'm asking that goes up to five more on what he's proposing. Snow equipment maintenance, same thing. We proposed 15. He's at 12. I'd like to take that up to 15, back up to 15.
That's really where those cutting
Yeah, that's where the cutting edges would come of that. The street equipment maintenance, we have several trucks that haven't been inspected in 2 years. They need brakes, they need drums, now that we have capable mechanics, we are really trying to catch up on the stuff that wasn't done over the last several years. I mean, if you...
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that we got these guys that can work on stuff, but if they don't have money to buy oil and filters and brake drums and whatever, and to get them actually inspected when we get this stuff done, it's not going to help us.
So I think we found ourselves in the boat a few years ago where we tried to make up for things that were done or weren't taken care of over a long period of time. And by just adding money back in, we're going to be in the same boat.
See, and unfortunately, we have to do something different this time.
Right.
So you're either looking at raising taxes,
Which we did immensely last year.
right? So you're looking at raising taxes
Or building revenue.
or building revenue.
But
Exactly.
you also have to plan and to stay within your budget. You can't
Absolutely.
just, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it this year. You kind of have to push it off.
So-
But that's why you have to have a plan.
There's some things, though, you can't, I mean, I can't have guys driving trucks that aren't inspected if something were to happen. There's certain things you can't,
Nor would I suggest that anybody do that.
Right.
But we need to find somewhere, right? We can't,
yeah, I'm telling you what my reasoning is on this. You guys can do whatever you want, but that's why I'm asking for what I'm asking for.
In all due fairness, this village is trying to catch up with things that haven't been taken care of on virtually every single line. Okay? So then, and no disrespect to anybody in the room, then you have to look at who's managing. Why were trucks all this time not taken care of? Why weren't inspections, which I drive my car, I don't get inspected, I get arrested, or I get a fine, or I get a ticket. You're talking about trucks that have been inspected in 2-3 years? In that department. What about the other department? What about the other department? It's going to be nearly impossible if we keep putting back everything that we're going to take out to catch up without raising taxes. And again, that's, if I'm sitting here, Joe taxpayer, right, which I am, and I'm sitting here saying, how is my money being spent? I'm going to question, why haven't trucks been maintained? Why haven't trucks been inspected? How come? And I'm not just saying about your department, you just happen to be the first one in the door, right? Because I'm sure it's happening in other departments as well.
Absolutely.
That is the problem. Sunroy Lane, you got to break the lineage of, we'll do it next year, we'll do it next year.
So here's what I would like to see happen with all the departments is tell us what you want back in there. Tell us if there's any money you think we can take out. And then when we're done, Alyssa will tell us, with the changes requested, this is what it's going to look like. And then we go from there. And then we make cuts from there.
so I think I agree. I think we could do both. Like,
Yeah.
if we keep it with the projected the way it is, right? And then what the increase will be.
Right.
And you know what? I think we need to come to a happy medium where, so if we have to cut 2% out of everybody's budget across the board, then we'll probably have to go back to department heads and say, look, you got to cut 2%. Find it. Find it where you want it, where you can take it out. We're not going to take it from you. You tell us where you can take it.
I mean, we're already kind of doing that because we need something and she says we can't buy it, so.
I understand. I understand. I just think it's important that you cut it, the 2%, then us go in and say, you don't need tires this year, right?
Yeah.
Well,
We can't allow you to keep driving trucks that are not
well,
inspected.
No.
and part of the problem is you don't say, Dave, here's $100,000, spend it how you think best. You say, Dave, here's $100,000 in 14 different lines, and you can't touch this line to touch this
I
line.
understand.
And that stifles some of that ability to make money stretch in certain locations, which I've brought up to several of you. It's just,
Yep.
And earlier in the budget year, there's ways around that as far as like me sending her a request to transfer money from one budget line to a different budget line to cover stuff, but we're so at the end now that it's, can I borrow money from this line to put in this line? Yeah, there's no money in that line, so there's not a way for me to request a change like
I get
that.
it, and gas is gonna be
What it-
$5 a gallon or $8 a
I
gallon.
start in December. I don't know what I can only go from what I think I'm going to need at the beginning of January 1st to get me through the year. Most of the lines I didn't change. I mean, I didn't go crazy on what I did ask for. But, yeah, I mean, some of the numbers, yeah. The next one down, sanitary sewer contractual.
Yeah.
That's the one I wanted to speak to.
Yeah, but
Hold on.
we asked for 30. Mike gave us 10. 10,000 of that alone is,
So we have a company come in called Duke's Root Control. They come in every year. They put some foam stuff in the sewers to break up the sticks. We can't not have that.
so.
And last year's bill was still a little over 10,000. It was like 10,001.
So you asked for 30.
Yeah. Now, my thought on asking for 30 was, St. George comes in and does one emergency sewer repair, which would fall under contractual. For him to put that shovel in the ground, it's going to be a $10,000 bill. So I'm hoping that we go through the year with 2, at most, major helps from St. George. So that's
There's
where.
been years where we haven't had to have
Yeah,
that happen,
but-
so it's a guessing game. But my concern on that, when I saw that, was that Duke's bill is going to eat that $10,000.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
that's a contractual thing we've done, so whatever, so that money's automatically gone, and if anybody has to help us in any way, shape, or form, we're done.
So he proposed 20.
So you're requesting that goes,
Well, I would be happy if it at least went back up to 20, so I had at least one call in my pocket if I had to make that call. I mean, there's just certain, we don't have the equipment to dig 14 feet down. So that at some point or another, hopefully it doesn't happen, but it may.
So you're saying one call equals $10,000 automatically?
Yeah, I mean, for him to put that shovel in the ground, if we're helping him, yeah, it's $10,000 for a day, basically. You know.
yeah.
Well,
What's the next item on your?
The next item, and then the last one, is water distribution supplies. I asked for 20, we've actually spent 22. Mike took it down to 15. That's all of the sleeves, couplings, connectors, valves, some fire hydrants, everything that we use that gets broken on a daily. And that number is only going up every year by the fact that we have more breaks because these pipes are getting older and older.
We just recently had to transfer money into that line. in order
Yeah, I mean,
to cover
we're over 20, we're at 22,000. I asked for 20, and we're back down to 15, and that number's not going to get any cheaper.
well,
So that's,
How do you feel with your stock right now? I mean, you've shown me your inventory.
we just got from the transfer of the money that our Alyssa did 2.5 months ago, we just got
Kind of late.
most of that order in this last week. So we're probably fairly decent on some stuff for a little while. I mean, definitely till the new budget starts and then whatnot.
Okay.
It all depends on, I mean, we're coming in right now to not pre-thaw weather, so we're in a little better shape. The fact that he's got the chlorinator up at the system running may help with the surges and the slams and the other stuff that was going on. But come next winter, if we have a 0-degree winter, no idea. You know, I think we're okay for a little while as far as parts and supplies goes.
Chad, let me ask you a question. You've been here how long?
Almost 10 years.
Okay. So you've seen annual.
Yeah.
How much, have you seen a significant increase in the amount of failure in the underground infrastructure over the last, say, 5 years compared to what it was 5 years ago? Or has there been an annual, you can expect this usually, but like with anything else, as the older it gets, easier it's gonna breathe, you know. You saw that on Memphis. One clay pipe goes and all of a sudden, click, 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 it's like dominoes, they all.
I don't know.
would say my honest opinion is that I have seen a bigger increase of a small hole versus a big hole. So, meaning that these pipes are getting older, so what might have just been a little crack is a bigger
We're
crack.
replacing more significantly than we were before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I was here when we replaced Carroll Avenue water lines. So then to my knowledge, we haven't had a water break on Carroll without looking at my notes, but we haven't had any issues there. I believe there was funding that covered that. That was under Mayor Landis, the new hydrants, everything on that street. So what Nan and you guys were discussing is huge and a wonderful idea. Not to mention, I mean, you're drinking that water and it's old pipes.
So, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, no, go ahead.
So you have water distribution training or district training, whatever that is, 3,000, you've spent 306, and we proposed 3,000.
We just approved the 2,225, so we have to minimally have that.
So how much do we have to have?
2,225, I believe it was.
I think
That
so,
sound
for the
right?
3 last
Yeah.
seat.
We also have, every 2 years, we have dig safe training and continuing education credits for that, that we have to maintain for the guys, and that wasn't funded. That's a 2-year thing.
Well, actually, no, you're wrong.
Okay.
This is why you brought me. It's okay. It's okay. So initial dig safe training is $25 a person, and then you take yearly classes, and then every 5 years you have to be recertified. So it's every 5. So it's not that you're off terribly, but every 5 years you have to be recertified.
All right, I was just looking for a little money to move back up somewhere
Sure,
else.
I
That's all I was trying to do.
understand. Yeah, I understand.
How about the water district distribution equipment maintenance? What is that? Because you've only spent $433.45. That's what you've spent to date on that line.
I mean, we really don't have a lot of water distribution equipment other than the fire truck thing. A suck truck is considered sanitary. I would suppose we don't have a lot of water distribution equipment to have worked on, right?
So I'm just looking to get you where you need to be.
Right,
What
right.
else? What else?
Understood.
What can
And
we
that's what
look
I
at
was
to
trying
get
to
rid
think of. What else
Yeah, I
would we
mean-
have that, other than the
I think it's-
Water distribution equipment also falls, I mean, some of the stuff that we have that, you know, like the
pumps or something?
the pumps, the 2-inch, 3-inch trash pumps, the guns that tighten the bolts on the sleeves. I mean, one of those guns, we did replace one, and I don't know if it came out of that or not, was the gun itself was like $438 for the cordless gun that we used for the bolts of things, so that's,
So I'm just looking for creative ways to put money back in your budget, that's all.
yeah, I mean,
You know,
it's,
we all have to cut something, like, you know, so I'm just trying to find a creative way to put something back in. If you're not gonna use it, if you don't,
well, I mean, there's some things we definitely would have used too, but we can't because we're being told, no, we can't.
And we had to move money around too. So.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, we can't, I mean, we're being told at this point, we don't have financial, well, it's not financially responsible, it's handcuffed on some of the stuff. I mean, technically, right now, we should be buying a bunch of number 2 and number 1 stone and stuff like that for, you know, and stockpiling it, we don't have the money to do it. We don't have the money to do it.
for paving, you mean?
Yeah.
That can come out of CHIPS funds? Yeah, it can.
Oil and stone.
Yep.
Yes.
Oil and stone can, but we have to pay for it, and then CHIPS has to reimburse us for it, and
That's
I
on the
get it.
schedule, so we do know when it's coming.
Right, I'm just saying
They have
that's,
to wait until
that's,
money shows up.
yeah, and we have to have the trucks to be capable of driving out of town and picking up some of that stuff.
How much is that annual training that you mentioned?
Good one.
For
digging?
It's $25 for the, plus the continuing education classes, which cost varying amounts depending on where they're held and what they are.
There's no, I think he's talking about UDIG. UDIG, the initial course, the one I went to is 25. The annual courses are nothing, they're just online. And then the 5-year course, I took a pound for it, I believe it was 25 as well. So that
Continuing education does have some.
no. All of the courses that we just did for everybody was nothing.
I
It
guess
was
if
just
you do them
online.
online, if you
Yeah.
go somewhere.
If you go
there's-
somewhere, it costs money,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, depending on if they're available online or not.
I have a question about salts. You used about 50K worth, proposed 70, and mayor's got 60. How was the salt usage this year? Did the prices change much, or?
It went up about $20 a ton from last year.
And one truck is 5 ton. And if a truck does one loop, that's 5 ton. And talking to the guys at the state, everybody went double on their salt this year, basically, because of the cold, the water, the snow,
Yeah, the
that was down
conditions.
there. So, yeah, it was a bad year for salt.
Do you have any in reserve right now?
I have 78 ton left
We
at
we
the
have
state.
78 ton if we don't use any more. You know, that's
It's
not
not
to
going to
say
snow
that.
anymore.
I hope not. Which to kind of let you guys know, so every year we have to commit to an amount that we're gonna purchase. So, when I first started, it was tricky because whatever you committed to, you had to be within, I think you had to commit to, I think you had to get to like 80% of that. They cut it back to 50. So I always put in for 900 ton. That way, if we only use 400, we're not penalized. But if we have a bad year and we use 800, we're not penalized. If we go over 900, we start paying a premium. So it's a guessing game, but what I've been submitting we haven't been penalized. So that, some of what we started with this year was 143 ton from last year. So that did help.
So we used 143 tons of salt that we paid for in the last year's budget. And this year, if we don't use any more, we'll have 78 that will go towards next year.
And you can hold it, right? You have enough?
They hold it right for us at the state. That's part of
Oh,
the-
they do, okay.
Yeah, it's part of the, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. They'll hold a certain amount in reserve for us.
gotcha. So it's a tricky proposition there.
It's gotten easier because now you only have to meet
Yeah.
50% of the
They
goal
widened
without
it.
being
But
penalized.
you don't know if it's, like this year it started snowing in early November.
Yeah.
2 years ago, it didn't snow until January. You just don't know how to forecast it because
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there was one year I was here that we did go over a little bit and we had to pay the premium price back when Rick was here. I think it only happened the one time. And we had an absolute horrible winter that year, but otherwise we've stayed within what we commit to. And I can't remember what weren't we budgeted for like 40 to begin with, Alyssa? Weren't we budgeted for like 42,000 in salt?
Yeah, I moved money into there.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we were budgeting around 42 to begin with.
Anything else? Any other concerns or questions or?
The only other thing was,
Yeah, we want to talk about the couple.
yeah, the couple personnel things. I know I've met with you, I met with Paul, met with Lan, or Alyssa. I haven't had a chance to speak with you, I apologize. And I think I briefly spoke with you about my title change. Unfortunately, we all finally were like, yes, okay, we're good. And because I took the test while Scott was here, I have fallen off the list because it's only on there for a year. And the next available time, I will quite literally be in the middle of the ocean. So I cannot take it in April, so I won't be able to take it until October. So the 2024 budgeted, Jen got promoted to his assistant isn't gonna happen until at least November, December. So I know our list already,
Is there a way to appoint her provisionally?
There
After
is.
April, after the next test?
It depends on who's on the list. We'll have to call for the list.
We'll need to break the list.
Yeah.
and the
I
other,
wouldn't
the other
recommend doing it.
concern, my concern on that was, I've already been waiting this long. My other concern is, I went into that test with, well, Scott said that he's gonna promote me to this. I hope I do okay. If I'm going in there like my job is contingent on this, my brain cells, my bachelor's degree, everything I've learned, and it will just be out the window. I'd rather like
Too much pressure.
not have too much pressure on it and wait. I've been waiting long enough.
So why don't you just take the test, and if you pass the test, then we'll promote you? If
Well,
not, you just keep
Scheduled,
your...
it's not going to be scheduled until
Right,
it's not scheduled at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you asking for a pay increase then,
The-
on your position now?
On my position now, when that title changes, it would be an increase of $1.50. Any promotional rate is
Right now, we
not.
can't do anything outside of the union contract.
Okay.
Basically, no pressure, but pass the test.
Unfortunately, they only offer it twice a year. So
So if you don't pass the test, then you still have your job,
I still have my job.
right? And we're not gonna,
That was my point, is
Yeah.
that I don't wanna take a provisional appointment. He already, if I'm doing stuff to help him, he'll let me put in for premium, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm happy to do my job, nothing changes my job,
we'd love nothing more to promote you when you pass the test.
I understand that.
Well, Jen, and you know, you and I have talked a couple of different times about this, but also, we know who runs the shop down there, so, and it's just like Alyssa in this building, you run the show down there, you do a great job. Our job is to be as financially responsible as we can, and so it's difficult on both ends. You're trying to do your job the best you can with outdated equipment and things that haven't been taken care of, and to a certain extent, so are we. So, but we have confidence that you're going to pass that test.
Yeah, we need to talk two other points that weren't necessarily covered in the budget. The lift stations on Howard Street and up on the top by Chautauqua, Houghton, that area. Both of those lift stations only have one pump of the two pumps that they're supposed to have in them. The pumps are repaired, the pumps are sitting in the DPW, but they were never paid for to be installed.
So I'm sorry, but I don't know if Christine knows, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
This is the sewer system.
The sewer
Thank
pumps,
you.
the sewer lift station pumps on Howard and Chautauqua basically pump the sewer up out of those into our system so they can drain down into the sewer system over to the plant. They're supposed to have two pumps in them. In case one fails, there's a backup pump. There was two pumps in both of them. One of the pumps failed. We're running on the other pump. The pumps were repaired. They never got reinstalled.
Bless you.
Those pumps never got reinstalled. So we're looking at probably, I would guess, a $5,000 to $7,000 bill per pump to have those installed with, and here's the other part of this, that there's no, if the power goes out to those pumps, then we have no ability to pump the water out of those, and basements will.
Yeah, that's the problem we had, right? So
Right.
we paid for that repair.
Right, so.
Because that pump failed.
So what I'm asking for is basically $7,000 per pump, and in that number, that allows us to put a electric switch panel onto the current box that we could run a generator off of in case the power were to go out. It would be a heck of a lot cheaper to run a generator than pay one basement thing, or one
Do we have
operator
the
to sit there.
generator?
What's
Do
that?
we have the generator?
We do, it's already on, it's the water truck that we have has a generator on it. We basically just park the truck next to it, plug it in, and
Who has to install that?
an electrician, certified
But
electrician.
here's the question, and I hate to be the guy to ask the stupid questions, but it's going to be asked of us. Who repairs a pump that's broken and taken out to repair it and then don't put it back?
Right.
Number one. My question is, why wasn't it put back? And two, why wasn't the cost of putting it back so that it's fully operational done in the first place?
Not being here, I can't answer that, I'm just letting you know. Dunker,
Dunkin' motor repair,
Dunker
probably,
repair,
yeah.
yeah.
How much did it cost us to pay for that woman's cleanup?
5.
We
Nothing, our
paid,
insurance paid it.
well, we paid $3,500 so far,
Yeah.
until insurance is all set.
Well, and there's the one up on Chautauqua Road that I don't know is,
That's the one
That's
I'm
the one
talking
that's
about.
and there was one on, wasn't there one on over Middlesex or Burnett or somewhere?
That
up
one
there?
was,
So
didn't
does that
pay.
come
Okay.
out of DPW or does that come out of capital?
That'd be capital.
So for what part? What he's
Pump
requesting?
installation, yeah.
That'll come out of
Oh, for that,
the
I'm sorry, yeah.
sewer, right? Is that a sewer?
Should.
That's a sewer, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a.
So,
That would be a sewer contractual, which is again cut to 10,000 and we
That would
don't
be
have.
the capital.
But the question that nobody seems to be able to answer right now, because how do we not have this stupid stuff continue when
And I
something
think-
breaks down? That would be like saying, well, we needed 2 headlights in our truck. We got both of them, but we only put one in.
Yeah,
I mean,
quite frankly, I think these pumps went down several years ago, not even in the last year, and it hasn't been addressed.
well, I don't care if it was yesterday. The idea is we're not able to function, to utilize the things that were designed to function in a specific way, and they were fixed, but it didn't go 99% of the way.
And I can tell you, we've actually gone to the point, Doug's gone to the point where he actually, there's a light on the system that tells you if there's a failure on the pumps.
Right.
There's actually, and Doug's gone to the point of where he's got a quote that there's an auto dialer, so if that light comes on, there's a phone call that's automatically made on it. That's another thing that you could add on to it, and I don't remember what the number is on that, but it was,
It's like 35, 30.
Well, I guess we're
Well, I
gonna.
guess we can pay for it to get done, or we can continue to pay for cleaning people's basements.
And to be honest with you, I get a lot of calls about that,
Oh, so do I. Yeah.
going
So
down there.
$7,000 each?
it'd be about $7,000
Do you
each.
have an estimate
We
on
would
that?
have
Do you
to
have
get-
something that says that?
I'd have to get an updated estimate on it. I'm guessing roughly that's where it's gonna fall. We gotta get, but again, we gotta get that sent out to bid to appropriate contractors on who can,
Right.
because we're over 20,000 on going through one contractor.
My
So
last statement on that, think of how much less it would have cost 7 years ago.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just.
I'm not arguing, I'm not upset with you guys.
Of what it- you know?
Yeah, I can't get an estimate until we send out a notification looking for bids from contractors for electricians.
And we probably have to run that through the board.
Was there an old
If it's less than
bid on that?
$20,000,
No.
when
Well-
you took it out to fix it?
Maybe we don't.
That was before my time.
I mean, they've probably been out, if there was, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
You've been here how long?
Almost 10 years.
And it's,
And if it's the pump that I think it is, that's sitting in the shop, right?
There's 2 of them sitting in the shop. I don't know how long they've been sitting there.
It was before my time.
Wow.
so when the Chautauqua event happened,
If it's the right one, don't quote
that
me, but I
was
think that is.
roughly last October, November.
It was before I started, so yeah.
So, I actually was speaking with Doug about that when that happened.
Yeah, Doug, not only did that fail and it cost however much to fix the thing, we had 3 guys coming, basically sitting with the suck truck, vacuuming out that septic, running into the plant in Dunkirk at time and a half, plus the truck operation,
Yeah.
just to keep it, and that was a 10-day span,
So-
basically, to.
I'm sorry, but why wasn't it brought up when this happened to put the pumps back in?
We didn't know.
Nobody's
All I
here,
knew-
nobody knows.
What I knew about that situation from Doug was that it wasn't a pump issue. That's not the reason for the failure. The failure was there was a faulty relay.
Faulty relay,
yes.
That was responsible for not allowing pump A to transfer to pump B. But then I would ask the question, where was pump B?
It wasn't there. So yeah, it's all stuff that I'm learning as I'm going out to these
Well, this
different
pump's
things.
been sitting
And
at the DPW for how long?
Do we know that it still works?
Is the level of.
it was rebuilt. They were rebuilt, so they should, I mean, they're.
We're not going
Listen,
anywhere.
we can't rewrite history, we'll go
Yeah.
forward.
We can learn
Just
from
have
it.
to look at what the situation is right now.
We're gonna take that into consideration. Can we go to the lead maker?
Back electric's been involved, right?
Beck Electric, from what I'm told, was the ones that removed and helped fix the ones that were in there.
No.
So they have been involved in it, but yes, again, because we're now over 20,000 on services to Beck Electric, we're supposed to be bidding out
Yeah.
a
Go ahead,
contractual thing
go
on
ahead and
that.
take the steps you need to do to get that fixed. Whatever you need to do,
Well, I mean,
start the
it's-
process.
You're gonna have to get the quote.
I'll get quotes, but if it's
Yeah.
okay to get it through, you guys got to tell me it's okay to get Beck Electric, even though before we send it out to another bid, to just give us numbers on that.
You
Yeah,
can just
then
give
we'll know what we're
numbers
looking
on
at, yeah.
anything.
Yeah, give us an idea how much.
So Ricky Miller, maybe contact him?
Well,
Well,
it's
no,
not an
it's got to be an electrician.
Well, but what about pumping?
That, it's going to be a little bit of both. Because the pump gets installed, but the electric goes to the pump.
So
and,
if Ricky Miller's not a certified master electrician,
Right, so
he
it's
does
a
not
little-
qualify.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Does anybody, any trustee have any more budget questions for DPW while we're here? If not, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Trustee Krupski.
Aye.
Trustee Wendell.
Aye.
Trustee Lazaroni.
Aye, but we didn't.
Trustee Rockler. Trustee Esperson.
And just so you all know, I will not be here most of April. I will be doing payroll, I will be taking care of the fuel, all that stuff from Florida. But I will check emails, but if there's anything, like, let me know, because he's gonna be gone a little bit, I'm gonna be gone a little bit, so if there's anything, you should have my cell phone numbers. I know you call me. If there's emergencies, I can always try to
We're
get
just going to
somebody
call you
for
here
you.
in Florida.
I'll be gone
That's
next
what he's
week.
like.
I'll be gone next week. She'll be gone the week after, going the week after that, so.
Again, I hate to-
Personnel
I hate to
committee,
say anything,
who approved her
but
vacation?
based on past experience,
run by me.
can we make sure that the team knows exactly what we're supposed to be doing?
Already taken care of. Already taken care of.
Everything.
Yes, there's already a whole firm